Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Rolo's Run the City podcast with JT. I am your co-host JT, and on the other end is my brother from another mother. Rolo runs the city, aka he literally runs the city. My brother, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, sir. Glad to be here. Glad to be talking to you once again.
Hey, same here, same here. Well, I guess with no further ado, we'll get right into it. This will be episode 7, and in this episode 7, we'll be talking about commitment. So I'm gonna give it straight to my brother to start it off. What do you feel like commitment is, and why do you think is it very important?
Yeah, man. Commitment. It's um, it's something that it's very hard to do if you don't have discipline. So be sure to check out our discipline episode just in case if you ain't heard that. But
Y'all
obviously
heard?
you already know. To be committed, man, is just to be dedicated to that certain may be. If you're trying to be a better reader, you're trying to stay committed to reading. So then that way you could try to read one book maybe every 2 weeks, where you could try to get 2 books a month. Um, Trying to stay committed to a diet. So then that way your blood work doesn't come out so sloppy and getting a little healthier. So you want to start eating better. Takes commitment as well. Working out, of course, we already know takes commitment as well as being an asset to whatever type of business entity that you are a part of. Definitely takes a lot of commitment because you always want to be looked at as an asset as opposed to being a liability. And commitment allows you to be an asset. And when you're non committed, unfortunately, you are looked at as a liability. So, it's absolutely important to me because it's not so much that I care about the perception of others. However, one thing that I do really harp on is the fact of how you look at yourself. And there's a lot of people that can look at themselves in the mirror who aren't committed, but don't really care what they see in the mirror. Me, on the other hand, if I look in the mirror, I want to be proud of the man that I'm looking at. You know, be the person who you would love to meet. That's one thing I always say is just put yourself in that mindset of, man, would I like to meet myself? And the reason why I say that is because it puts a lot of things in a perspective on how you should start executing in your life. And if you're that type of person that you would love to actually be around, you're going to strive to become more of that person. Like you'll be surprised about how many people will just be in awe and will just like praise and gawk at the fact that they will be hanging out with LeBron James. But they don't look at themselves and gawk and just be in love so much with themselves where they want to be the best possible version of themselves that they can be. At the end of the day, we all put our pants on the same way. We're all man, as in mankind. So we have to really pay attention to how we're living our lives and what we're doing. And commitment is very big when it comes to executing the life that you absolutely want to live. Now, the sad thing is, we talked about it in our last episode. You'll never know to address a problem if you think there isn't one that's evident. And we all have issues that we all have to deal with, and we all have to be truthful with one another and understand those issues. But without recognizing the problem, you can't address anything if you don't think anything's wrong. And being committed allows you to do that. Like I said, whether if it's working out more, whether if it's reading more, whether if it's going on a better diet, whether if it's cleaning your circle and having a better choice of friends around you, even family for that matter, you know? So I'm just a firm believer in, not only of just being committed, but just holding yourself accountable. Also, name dropping another episode we have, so feel free to check that out as well. Accountability. But anyway, that's my take on it. How you feel about that, JT?
Yo, I feel like you gave some real positive points there. Um, Also, I think a lot of things that we're talking about, I think they're going to correlate in a little piece of each show that we have. So hopefully, not going to try to make it sound redundant or anything, but it just, that's how the key aspects of life is, it's just going to tie into each other, little by little. But as far as commitment goes, my thing is like once you have an idea on what you want to do, I think now you have to actually put your foot on the accelerator brake, and you have to hit go with it. It's one of the things where now that you've figured out what you want to do, now you have to say, you know what, if I succeed, if I fail, if I win, or if I lose, all right, this is the route I'm going to take. This is what I want to do. This is what I believe in. And I know where and we might talk about this before too, where there's people who kind of like skeptical to do things because they're scared of failing. And in my mind, and probably in the successor's mind, you fail when you don't plan, or two, you don't do anything at all. Because you never know the outcome of something if you don't try. So that's my thing in a nutshell about wanting to be committed to something and why it's important, because it's your shot to see if it's going to work or not. And like we said before, if you don't believe in what your next move, your step, or your agenda is, who else is going to believe you? Is there anything else you want to add to that, really?
Yeah, man. You fail to plan, plan to fail. It's just that simple. So, when you're committed, you're gonna be successful in any way possible, and you're gonna fail a lot along the way, but at least you have a plan to go by, which, it's followed through with commitment. But if you're not a person who doesn't plan and you're kind of winging it, then you're just going to be living life by chance and by hope. And to me, that's just an excuse for living a mediocre life. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, and I'm gonna throw another example in here. Like for example, I know me, probably you, Rolo, and a lot of people don't like Donald Trump. Okay, for example, I think and you probably can agree that we feel like he's an asshole, but he's a committed asshole, because no matter how much right or wrong he is, know how much just air or nonsense that he talks, he sticks to what he says. And
yeah, absolutely, he does, and he sticks by it, and he's very consistent with it, and he's committed to his agenda. So whether if you like him or not, you got to appreciate the work ethic and the tactic that he puts behind it. He's forthcoming, being a prick every single time, but that's who he is. And whether if you want to resonate with it or not, it's there. And the only way that he can execute on those laurels is if he's committed. So he shows the commitment on being a jerk, and that's just how he does it. And you can't get mad with it because he shows up. So you want to be the anti-jerk and be the person that wants to become better. Well, you're gonna have to try to outshine that. So I totally get it.
yeah, and like you say, even though that's the way he carried himself, doesn't mean that's the way that people should be. Well, once again, there's a lot of people in the world, so everybody is not going to be on the good team. They're going to be, like you say, the jerks, the assholes, the idiots out there. Once again, it's like this is your life, your lane. You choose your path of where you want to go. Hopefully, we'll be on the good side. But my thing is, if I was the person on the bad side, and I want at least try to do good at some point, yeah, at least find a way to get to that script and and follow it. You know, get some help and advice if need be. So, all right. Well, I'm gonna lead this to my next question. So, Rolla, how you feel like, you know, the commitment side of things and aspect of your life, how you think it affects you personally, positively or negatively?
Definitely. When you're uncommitted, it can lead to much negativity, and we've talked about it before about how that momentum can snowball the other way and actually you know just roll downhill and not in a good way. So when people are inconsistent, when they're procrastinating, that's a level of commitment that you don't want to be a part of. However, it is commitment. And it's like you're committed to the excuses, you know, you're committed to making excuses on why you can't do anything or saving things for last minute. And that's just not the route you want to go. So for me, like I said, and I'm human and we're all human and we don't operate like robots. But the best thing that we can possibly do is recognize that there's an issue and try to do what we can to address that issue before life addresses it for us. Because what will happen is that you got plenty of situations that are neglected, and it comes to a point where you're like, man, I shouldn't have neglected it this long, and now look what I'm dealing with. Like for example, let's bring up a very simple example, right? Your water pump, your water pump needs to be replaced on your vehicle, right? And you're like, okay, well, I'm creeping up around 80,000. I know once I hit 100,000 miles on this vehicle, I'm gonna have to get this water pump replaced because we're getting into a point where at any time this water pump is gonna go out. So you have a lot of folks that they display undisciplined behavior. They're like, oh well, I don't got the money for a water pump right now, and but they're going out every Friday, Saturday night, eating steak dinners and having drinks out there with their friends, right? Then your water pump goes out. And now you're like, damn, I can't get to work. This is affecting, how I'm going to make my money. Oh, okay, well, I catch an Uber or a Lyft, whatever you decide to go with. And now you're like, man, I'm coming out of the pocket almost $100 a week just to get to work. And I'm not even making money like that. So now you're in a situation where because you were so used to just neglecting what needed to get done, now you're like in a situation where you wish you would have been more committed and paying attention and doing what you were supposed to do. So then that way you could address the issue at hand. Because like I said, you don't want to be in a situation where life addresses things for you. You want to attack life, because if you let life attack you, I mean, it's a brutal match and you're not going to win. But if you punch first and you punch hard, you win. If you're waiting to get punched, you're going to get your ass knocked the hell out. I'm going to guarantee you that right now. So for me personally, the way I feel about momentum being in a positive way is addressing things as soon as they occur. And if you're unable to address things at that time, then that's okay. But don't let that just put that to the wayside and forget about it. You know, put it down somewhere, friendly reminder, hey, this needs to get addressed and this needs to get done. That's showing a level of commitment of trying to get things done that need to be addressed. Because if not, if you neglect these things, then instead of attacking life, life attacks you. And that's not the end of the stick that you want to be on. Same thing with, I always talk about fitness and trying to be as strong as you can be, handle your own in reference to, holding your own weight. And you don't want to be in a situation where, you know, you've been putting on some pounds and you're not doing the right thing health wise. You're drinking a lot, you're eating a lot outside, and put on 20 or 30 extra pounds. Well, you need to start addressing that quick. Don't wait till you laying up in the hospital after a heart attack and thank God you're still here. And then you're like, oh, I need to address this now. See, that's life attacking you again. No, fat boy, put the steak down, okay? Put the Burger King down, okay? Start drinking some water, get yourself a salad, do what you're supposed to do, and by all means, I mean, I'm not fat shaming nobody. So I don't want anybody coming at anything with that crazy, like, oh my God, he said fat boy. No, because I'm going to tell you like this. I'm type 1 diabetic. And, for my weight, for the most part, has always been like 160 pounds, throughout my lifetime. Then when I became diabetic, man, right before I lost all that weight, went down to 165, right? My weight escalated all the way to 215 pounds, and I'm 5'8", so I'm like average height. So you already know that I was looking like a oompa loompa. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So my point is that don't wait for something to just happen to you. If you see the signs, don't ignore them, address them, and being committed allows you to get those things done. You have to see things through. You have to see that there's a problem. But like I said, if you can't change a problem if you don't know that there's one there. What you think about that, bud?
Yeah, that's facts. That's facts. And I was gonna say too, yeah, like for you to be type 1 diabetic and everything, a lot of people be like, well, you're not gonna be doing as much things as you were doing before because this is a different type of life you have to live now because of it. But you know what I'm saying? Like you do some things that I don't even do these days. You know what I'm saying? Like you be like, yo, I'm running the city. Like, man, I'm not even running the block. But but you know what I mean? But I know I need to. But it's one of the things, well, once again, once I finally get started, whatever, that's what I have to commit myself to. But that'll be a work in progress. But
Absolutely. That's the thing, man. We're just trying to be transparent to let people know. I don't want people to think that we're robots on here, that we're all like, you know, 8-pack abs and you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, we ain't had no medical issues in our life. And nah, man, trust me, like there's a reason why we're doing the stuff that we're doing now and why we're doing this podcast. Because it's like, you know what? Like, we're not reinventing the wheel. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to try to figure this stuff out by yourself. Learn from other people's mistakes. That's why people listen to podcasts. That's why people read books, because they want to know how they can do it without actually experiencing the failure themselves. So it's like if you can avoid that curve and be like, nah, like I don't need to embrace that learning curve right there and fail so bad right there because so and so did that and it didn't work out and this is what they did to actually make things work. If you're able to actually do that, then that's the best way to live. Like, trust me, like you ain't gotta have a heart attack on your own to figure out that shit hurts. Like, learn from your people. I'm sure you learn from somebody. Like, man, so and so was really messed up. They didn't live the healthiest lifestyle. I'm not going through that. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the problem with people, why they're so scared of commitment, because it does take a lot. It takes a lot of discipline. It takes being accountable, showing great leadership within yourself. I know I'm name dropping our shows right now, but this is exactly what we're talking about. So, we're not reinventing the wheel, people. What we're trying to do is we're just trying to become better as a community. And that's something that we should do.
yeah, facts, facts, facts. You know, um, like another example I could use, right, is shout out to the people who, did the like one chip challenge. I'm sure you heard about that. That's like one of the
Yeah.
craziest things out there. Like I like hot stuff, whatever, and I'm up for most challenges. But like if I feel like this is the chip was for like $20, $30, whatever the case, or however the price was, and I'm thinking,
The Carolina Reaper was $100 for one
yeah.
chip.
So that's the way I'm. All right, yeah. So that's what I'm thinking, right? If I'm about to put my life on the line to them eat something that hot, I should be buying $100 for the chip. The damn people who make the chip should be paying me $100 to eat that shit. You know what I'm saying?
I
Yeah.
absolutely agree.
So once again, like shout out to the people who do that because y'all were committed to doing that. But for me, I'll commit to give the two middle fingers. Like, nope, it's not happening here. You know what I'm saying? But
I heard that. I
yeah,
heard
yeah.
that.
Another example I want to use too, though, is as far as like, you know, as far as our podcasting history goes. Uh, for those who may know us last year, from the get go when we were the Stem Cell Podcast, we knew the frustrations of what was going to happen as far as like because it's not like we were like known to anybody like prior to doing podcasting, whatever. So we're just going off of what we like to do. When it comes to views and everything, is like if it happens, it happens. But at some point, once you do it, you feel like you should get views because you feel like, man, all these shows and efforts I've been putting into it, man, it takes some work and takes some time out of my day. So I feel like I should get some views. And I know we didn't really get the views that we were expecting for the most part. And the crazy part is, and this is how life works, like the shit that you think like would not get the attention actually did get the attention. And some stuff you say like, man, this is good information to give out to the people, and people will be like still in their beds with the little thing shade over their eyes, like they still sleep. So yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah.
so it was a frustrating time, and then I know, like saying, life got into the way, and plus the frustration of not getting the views that we had before. So I know we was in a delay or a empty period of time where we were just doing life instances. But you know, now we have to think too is like what we're doing now. If we don't do it, there's always somebody out here in the world doing it. So that's another thing about trying to get yourself together and get yourself on the move, because like you have to know, like you know man, everybody's trying to come up with an idea to be mentally financially free and stuff like that. And if you let it pass by and you let the opportunities go to waste, then somebody will go and pick it up like it was a fumble on the ground. Um so now fast forward to where we are now. Of course, we're in that same struggle. It's almost like we're starting again. We're reinventing the wheel because people don't really know us like that, or people who may have known us like that, they don't know that we're coming back again. So it's one of the things where we just have to believe in what we're doing and just putting the info out there. And and the way I kind of put this in my terms, let Jesus take the wheel, and he'll guide us to the people who need to see it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, um, my thing is this too. Is like, man, time. Like I always say it every show because it's facts. Times are getting crazier. So, you know, we have to come with a, yeah, we have to come with a plan. And when you come with a plan, you got to try to do something, because man, like if you don't try to do anything to better yourself, then the evil will pretty much take over and just run over you, and then you'll feel uh hopeless, helpless, and everything else that involved in those types of emotions. So the best way to go about those types of ideas and feelings is like you said, putting your step forward and living life the way that you envision when you had your thoughts. Make your dream come a reality.
Absolutely.
Anything else you want to add to that?
Oh, nah, brother, I'm good on that.
Okay, well then, this will conclude episode 7 of Rolo Runs the City with JT. We thank you all for tuning in and listening to us. Definitely love sharing our life experiences, and also trying to educate at the same time. Get the feedback from you guys so that we can get educated as well. Um, Definitely look forward to the next show that'll be coming in the next few days. Other than that, I'm going to turn it over to my man, Rolo Runs the City, aka he literally runs the city, and he go take us out.
All right, people, man. I like I say time and time again, I greatly appreciate your listenership, man. I appreciate you guys hanging in there with us. JT talked about it before. We did do this before. We had a little layover, and now we're back in the sky again, and we don't plan on landing anytime soon. We greatly do appreciate you guys, man. We really do. Feel free to hit us up, get social with us, man. My Instagram is at Rolo Runs the City. JT's Instagram is at So Amazing 247, and you can also hit me up on Twitter at Rolo Runs the City. And that is all things show related, whether we're doing well, whether if you want to critique us, if you want to go ahead and give us any show ideas, feel free to drop a line, man. We're here for y'all because without y'all, we ain't here. So I greatly do appreciate you guys. I appreciate my brother from another mother, JT, coming through once again. Uh, it's been going on 20 years and counting for as long as we've been working hand in hand together. So I greatly do appreciate this man on the other end. And I truly hope that everybody has a blessed night, blessed day, wherever you are, what time you're listening to this show. I am Rolo. That is JT. This is Rolo Runs the City with JT podcast. I greatly appreciate you guys. And we're out of
Yeah,
here.
remember, freedom isn't free until we live in free. All right, people. Peace.